welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and today's video we're going to be talking about plus size heroines. I love a plus size hero, but this video is just focused on plus size heroines. I could make another video with other plus size characters. I have wanted to do a video for plus size heroines for a really long time. I don't think I've ever actually done one. I might have a long time ago, but I've recently been on a journey of reading books with plus size heroines because I have been having really bad body image issues. I have a condition called PCOS, and it really affects my blood sugar and my weight, and I have a lot of weight fluctuation, and recently I have gained a lot of weight and just also had a lot of body changes. My body just doesn't feel the same as it did, and it feels very different, and I've had a lot of time fitting into my clothes or clothes that I used to wear that I knew immediately would make me feel really confident don't look the same anymore. And so it's been this really long struggle. I don't like the way my body looks, and so I've had a lot of struggles with that for the last 4 months. I decided that in order to give me a little bit of confidence, make me feel good about myself, I've been reading books focused with heroines who are plus sized. I was having so much struggle reading books where they would talk about how petite the heroines were, or how flat their stomachs were, or how toned they were, and I was getting so upset and uncomfortable. So I decided to go on a journey and read books with plus size heroines in them. So I have accumulated a list of new all-time favorite books that are all featuring heroines who are plus sized. And these are books where they feel so real. The heroines have their moments of insecurity like everyone does, but they also have moments where they absolutely love their body. They feel so incredibly confident, and they all have heroes who worship them, who obsessed with their bodies, who love them dearly for everything that they are. And I wanted to do this video and recommend these books to anyone who might be feeling similarly to me and who needs some help with their confidence, and have some books where heroes absolutely, utterly worship the plus size bodies of their heroines. So the first ones that I have are actually a whole series. I have talked about this series a couple times now on my channel because I am so incredibly obsessed with it, and that is the Alliance series by S.J. Tilley. I have read a couple of S.J. Tilley books, and all of the ones that I have read have had plus size heroines in them. I am definitely going to continue to read more S.J. Tilley because of that, but the three that are my absolute favorites that are a series is the Alliance series. These are mafia romances, all with morally gray anti-heroes who are in the mafia, who do horrible things, but who are so utterly loyal to their friends and to their heroines. So the first book, Nero, features a hero who is the head of this mafia organization known as the Alliance, and he is running from the police one day when he sees an open balcony door that he goes into in order to hide from the cops. Inside that balcony door is the heroine of the story, who is sitting on her couch and just relaxing when all of a sudden Nero comes bounding into her house. She is obviously incredibly concerned and confused about why this man is now in her house, but they also have this attraction to each other, and Nero becomes obsessed with this heroine and he starts stalking her. But it's okay because the heroine is into it. She is a virgin heroine, and she is intrigued and really into Nero, and she's likes the fact that he is looking out for her and looking at her, and they develop this romance, and Nero is utterly and completely in love with his plus size curvy heroine, and it is wonderful. The second book in the series is King, and King is the other leader of this organization called the Alliance. His heroine sees him kill somebody, so he kidnaps the heroine and takes her back to his house, where he forces her to marry him because he doesn't want her to be able to testify against him in a court. She was not in his plans at all. He had everything all structured and worked out and everything. He becomes so devastatingly obsessed and in love with this heroine, and it is so amazing to read. He loves her body. I mean, loves her body. The way that he talks about her is just so sexy, so gorgeous, so sweet. I absolutely loved it. It made me feel so, so good. The third book in this series, Dom, is the one that just recently came out, and it is a romance where the heroine really wants to be in love. She really wants a family. She wants somebody to protect her. She's had a hard life, and she just wants somebody who loves her for her. And she thinks she's found that person in Dom, but doesn't know that he is actually pulling the strings, and he has an ulterior motive, which is that he wants to join the alliance. And so he tricks her into marrying him. This is another one where he had everything in a plan and did not think that he was going to fall in love with the heroine, whose name is Valentine, but he cannot help it. And he becomes so incredibly possessive of her, so incredibly in love with her, and it is amazing. There's a scene where she finds out what he has done, and she throws her wedding ring out the window, and he then, while she's sleeping, tattoos his name on her wedding ring finger 4 times. And she wakes up and she's like, "Why'd you have to do it 4 times?" And he goes, "It's one for every man that's ever been inside of you." It's wonderful. It's amazing. They're all 3 incredibly dark. Trigger warnings for violence and anything that you think would come along with a mafia hero, but they're all incredibly good and all feature plus-size heroines. The next one that I want to mention is last on the list by Amy Dawes. Amy Dawes has had a couple of plus-size heroines in her, I want to say discography, but that's not correct. In all the books that she's written, she's had plus-size heroines in the past, but this one is my favorite of the plus-size heroines that she's written. This is a nanny romance with a single dad CEO of a company, and he has a lot of plans for his daughter now that he has full custody for the summer, but he's working, so he needs somebody to watch her. But he has a lot of like ideas about where she's gonna be. He sets her up in these like all these camps and everything. The daughter is not having it. She does not want to be so structured and everything. And so when the heroine Cozy comes in to interview for the nanny position, and the hero is asking her these questions, and he's like, "What are you gonna do with my daughter?" And she's like, "Nothing. We're gonna relax, we're gonna lay back, we're gonna do nothing, and it's gonna be glorious." The daughter is like, "Sign me up, I love it, you're hired." She is this very incredibly laid back lady, and she moves into a tiny house on the hero's property in order to become the nanny for his daughter, and he tries incredibly hard to stay away from her because he doesn't want to cross the boundary of she's my employee, but he can't help it. He falls head over heels for Cozy, and Cozy is, like I said in the beginning, she has those moments of insecurity which are so incredibly valid and natural, but for the most part, she loves herself. She is so confident in her plus-size body. She loves it dearly. She is fully and completely on board with it. She knows that she is sexy. She knows that she is gorgeous, and she knows what she deserves, and I love that about her. And that is part of the reason why she is my favorite plus-size heroine that Amy Dawes has ever written. The next ones that I have are another series, but I'm only going to talk about my favorite one, and that is the Brown Sisters series. So that's Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and Act Your Age, Eve Brown. My favorite in the series is the second one, which is Take a Hint, Dani Brown, but all 3 of the heroines are plus-sized. In Take a Hint, Dani Brown, this one is a fake dating romance. The heroine, Dani Brown, she gets carried out of a building during an emergency, and by the hero whose name is Zaf, and there's a photograph that's taken of it that goes viral. And Zaf has this organization, and with this viral photo, that organization is getting a lot of attention. And so in order to keep that attention going, they decide to fake date to kind of promote the photo and like play it up a little bit, and they end up falling in love. obviously, but Dani is so awesome, so confident. I loved her. Zaf has anxiety. He's actually one that I mentioned in my recent mental health representation recommendation video, so I'll link that video down below. But I love Raph. He's such a sweetheart hero, and he loves Dani so much, and I love it. It's so good. Highly, highly recommend it if you haven't read it. The next one that I have is Chloe Lease, and that is Always and Forever. This one is a marriage in trouble romance, and the couple has been married for about 10 years when now they're going through a rough patch, mostly regarding money, and they do some marriage counseling that really helps out their relationship. But it's a really beautiful romance between the two of them as they understand that marriages go through rough patches, marriages are hard, and that you really have to work for them. And the heroine, Freya, is plus sized. There is a scene with her on when they go on vacation, and she is putting on a bathing suit, which is a very hard struggle for many people who are plus sized, or who aren't plus sized. Many people in general who do not like to show off their bodies, who are not as confident in their bodies, and putting on a bathing suit and exposing yourself to so many people is a rough situation, and Freya obviously feels this, especially when she's around her sisters-in-law, who all are a lot smaller than her, and Aiden loves the way she looks, and it is amazing. And I love the way that the heroine's sisters-in-law really help her feel more confident. They really pump her up, and it's just a really great scene. I really loved it, and I love this book in general. The next one that I have is one that I actually was very apprehensive going into. This is Temped by Melanie Harlow. I have a difficult relationship with Melanie Harlow books. I really haven't liked a lot of her books, but this book was recommended so many times on plus size heroine recommendation lists when I was going on my reading journey that I finally decided, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. So many people like it, and so many people that I trust their recommendations loved it. So I finally picked it up. So glad I did. I freaking loved this. This book was wonderful for the plus size experience. The heroine in this one is a wedding planner, and one day she is out and she's at a bar and she's getting hit on by this person, and she doesn't want to be hit on by this person, and this other older guy comes and rescues her, and they end up sparking up an attraction and having a one-night stand. So a month later, a couple of weeks later, when she is introduced to her ex-boyfriend's dad at her ex-boyfriend's wedding, she's shocked to find out that it is this man that she had the one-night stand with. And the heroine in this one is plus sized. She, like I said, is a wedding planner, but one of the things that she has this dream of doing is starting a bridal boutique for plus sized women. And I loved this idea. I thought that it was wonderful. She talks about how hard it is as a plus size woman to deal with trying on clothes and how difficult that experience can be. And she talks about how when you're trying on wedding dresses, it should be this utterly magical, beautiful experience. But if you're plus sized and those dresses are not meant to fit your body, it can be really, really hard on your self-esteem, it's just like not a nice day when you're going to try on these dresses and they're supposed to be beautiful and amazing and make you feel so amazing, and none of them fit you. And so she sees enough of this with her clients as a wedding planner that she finally is like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And she starts this boutique that caters to plus size brides, and I love that. I thought that was wonderful. The romance between the hero and the heroine was also fabulous. It was a very mature romance. I felt like that they're older. A lot of their reasons for being apart, the reasons for the conflict were very valid and really worked with a very mature adult relationship. And I really ended up loving this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was just so good, and I would actually really recommend it, especially if you're like me and you're not a huge fan of Melanie Harlow. All of the things or most of the things that I didn't like in the other Melanie Harlow books that I read were not present in this one. And so that was really great. Pepper, lay down. And so I really loved this one. Okay, I have two more. Next one that I have is Mile High by Liz Tomford. I read this book recently. This is book 1 in the Windy City series, and this one is a romance between a hockey player and the flight attendant on their flights. And so this one is a forbidden romance because the flight attendants are not supposed to associate, they're not supposed to fraternize with the players, but they obviously can't help each other, especially the hero. The hero is kind of a dick in the beginning, but you find out that that's basically his persona and that he's actually a really big sweetheart in real life. But he seems like kind of a dick in the beginning. And he is not used to people saying no to him. He very much has this playboy attitude. He very much is like, everyone loves me, nobody hates me, all girls fall at my feet. And so when the heroine does not fall at his feet, he's a little confused. And he pursues her a lot, even though he is not supposed to, because it is forbidden for them to fraternize. He pursues her heavily, and I loved this. It was such a good romance. I gave it 4.5 stars because it is too long. I didn't love how long it was, but the romance itself was wonderful. The heroine is plus size. A lot of what she talks about was very relatable to me. She is definitely a little bit more insecure than some of the other heroines that I have on this list. It goes deeply into being super insecure. It can be triggering slightly, especially around her mother. Her mom is so not nice to her. I didn't like her at all. The way that she talked about her, the way that she talked about her daughter was just horrific. I just wanted to punch her in the freaking face. And I just was waiting and waiting and waiting for the hero to clap back at her, and it was very rough in certain scenes with the way that the mom especially made the heroine feel. She was very insecure at times, and the hero did such an amazing job of making her feel loved, making her feel sexy and gorgeous and worthy, and I loved that. I thought it was wonderfully done, and I would definitely recommend this book. The last one that I have is one of my favorite books of last year, and that is The Words by Ashley Jade, or A. Jade. This is a rock star romance, and it is kind of a second chance romance. Hero and the heroine knew each other when they were in high school. They were about to start this relationship when the hero ends up betraying the heroine, and then multiple years go by and the heroine wants to get back at the hero, and so when she gets the opportunity to go on tour with the hero as his like sober coach or like PR person to like keep him out of trouble, she decides to do it in order to find a way to get back at the hero. And the heroine has a lot of insecurity. This is another one where, as a plus size heroine, she is very insecure. She has a lot of hate for her body. There are some really, really rough scenes in this one, but I love the way that the hero makes her feel. I love the way that he lifts her up. This romance was so wonderfully done. It is a little heavier than some of the other ones that I've talked about, but it is so, so good. I would highly, highly recommend it. It was one of my favorites of last year. And as a rock star romance, it was very, very good. That is the last one that I have. I have many more that I could actually share with you. So if you wanted a part 2 for plus size characters and some featuring heroes, I can do that. So just let me know down in the comments, but I just want everyone to know that you are valid, you are amazing, your bodies are wonderful, and I love all of you. And so that's gonna be it for this video. So like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and stick around and see more content from me. But other than that, I hope that you have the absolute best day.